Think it's starting the
Oh,
recording
it is.
now.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome to a virtual trip to Norway. You're now in Norway talking to Norwegian people and
Amazing.
especially students at Selbu High School. And
Hello,
I'd like
everyone.
to welcome April Jayne, actor, singer, model, TV personality. I'd let her talk about herself for a bit, introduce herself.
Sure. My name is April Jane, and I am a mother of three young, amazing men. They're all in their, actually, I have twins in their 20s, and I actually have a 31-year-old now who's getting married next month. It's very exciting. I live in Los Angeles. I live very close to the Hollywood Hills. I'm in Studio City, and I'm thriving. I'm older these days. I grew up in show business, and now I'm in my 60s. I can't believe it. I don't feel my age. I feel very young, and um, I feel that I take very good care of myself, and spiritually, emotionally, physically, intellectually, I like to just appreciate my life. And I love being a mother. I loved raising my boys. My boys were wild and crazy, my boys. They grew up in Hollywood Hills, and their dad is a child actor. So we all grew up in show business. And my boys were just sort of wild all over the place. They didn't listen to me. I'm such a loving mother. And they were like, yeah, mom. And I was working, I was a single mom. And I had them most of the time. So my boys sort of just knew I was always there and always going to, welcome them with my big bare arms. And so they were just wild and crazy. And I got through it, Pollyanna. It was incredibly like a wild roller coaster ride, but I did survive, and they are wonderful young men. They have huge hearts, they're kind, they are very conscientious, they care about other people, and they're happy, and they are using their gifts in their lives to support themselves. So I taught them to figure out what they are passionate about in life and go towards that. You know, a lot of times as a parent, you sort of like figure out what you want your child to do, and you sort of a lot of parents sort of vicariously live through their children and push on them what they want for their kids to do. I tried it, for a short period of time, and it doesn't work that way. It's much more important for you to encourage your children in the direction of what makes them happy. So I learned that early on, and I saw their strengths, and I saw their gifts that they were born with, and I accepted what they loved, and that works really well as a parent and as a child for my children when I supported them in their dreams. You see, um, and the cool thing is, I still have my dreams even at this age. I don't give up on myself. I honor myself. And I was going to have a completely different life. I had a fiance, the most incredible man, the love of my life. He passed away in 2021. He was in an accident, and I had to reconfigure my whole entire life. And I'll tell you something. I was already strong. I was already, very bold and very. I'm kind of an outrageous soul. I just like to be. I like to have attention. I like to just do what I love to do and share with other people, and that's just me. But after I lost the most important person in my life, it became very clear to me there's 5, 6 different things that are very important to me. And I can share that with you later, but it was just exacerbated when I lost my husband. We were about to get married. So, I can share with that with all of you that because, you know, life is very precious and we
Really
never
is. It really
it's
is. And I see that the passion that you have for your children, for
oh,
life is
oh yeah.
very apparent in how you are. So
Yes.
when you talk about your family, you light up when you talk about your kids. And
Oh
one
yeah.
of them is also a model and a singer. And
Hmm.
what is your relationship with that one specifically?
That
If
is
you have that in
Gabriel.
common.
Yes, I have 3 boys. They're always like, I'm your favorite. I'm your favorite. And I'm like, you're all my favorites. They try to get me to videotape. Tell my brothers that I'm the favorite. They're always playing around and making me laugh. They crack me up. But Gabriel is one of my twins. I have twin boys that just turned 25. And he did a show with me. And a real gift is my twins one lives about a quarter mile that way. Gabriel lives about a quarter mile that way. So, you know, at any point in time, we can say, let's meet for coffee, let's go get an acai bowl, let's go work out. We're all very close. But Gabriel and I have a special bond because we share some of the similar things. When I was his age, I was modeling. I had a music career back then. I had a record deal when I was a little bit older than he was. And this kid is just such an incredible model. I traveled all over the world when I was younger, but this guy has like gone far and surpassed my traveling career as a model. He's been to Seoul, Korea. He's been to Colombia. He's been to Paris. He models all the time in New York. He's also an incredible musician, singer, songwriter. He's a rock star, big time. And all my boys are in the entertainment business, as my ex-husband is. So we all grew up, you know, um, auditioning, playing music, singing, helping each other with auditions. But yeah, Gabriel's kind of like a little mini me, I guess. He's extremely gregarious, and when I got this show that went viral, the other two brothers were like, Gabriel's going to do it. We're out. And
I have so many questions about that, about the show.
yeah,
So,
it was really
so
fun.
I want to know, how do you feel about the market in the industry right now? Movies, fashion, TV. Are there a lot of roles and casting calls and opportunities for women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s? We are
Well,
celebrating Women's History Month, so I really want to talk about that.
that's right. Absolutely. I got to tell you, when I was younger, you know, it was so funny. I would lie about my age, and I was like 21. Okay, that was back in the day. I'd say I'm 20. I'd lie like 1 year or something. It's so silly. And now everything's turned around and made like this full circle, and it's incredible because it's all inclusive. We're including everyone, and it should be like that. Everyone needs to be honored. Whether you're a child, whether you're a senior citizen. I love people of all ages. I welcome my fiance who passed away, David. His mom lives with me. She had moved in with us and she didn't have anywhere to go. And she's my roommate, and we grieve together. And I have to tell you, she's absolutely brilliant. And she's 84 years old. She teaches me about history. She teaches me about, politics. Although I'm not a real political type woman. I'm very sensitive, and a lot of times I'll watch the news and it affects me deeply. And I I don't want to go into this hole. Like sometimes I notice that I can, and not that I want to be ignorant about it either. I need to know what's going on in the world around me, but at times I just want to surround myself with positivity and keep my faith as I'm a woman of faith and I'm very spiritual and I pray a lot and I meditate every day. And in my world, I believe there's a lot more good than there is evil. So that and it's my job to go out into the world and spread kindness and spread positivity. And that's what I'm here for. I'm that person. I wake up and I'm like, wow, it's a new day. It's sunny outside. It's, what can I do? What can I do for my career? And, and that's how Gabriel is. He's like me. We're both like super enthusiastic and gregarious and we love people. And, I kind of got off topic, which I do. You
But
know,
hey, I think that's fantastic because it needs to be
yeah,
spontaneous. That's what I'm
yeah,
after. So when I
good.
was preparing for our interview and I did some research and did my homework on your career, your participation in this reality show marked to me like it's a historical situation there because think about all of these dating shows where it's
Yeah,
usually the young guy and the young girls and it's there's so much ageism these days. What was
absolutely.
it like being on MILF Manor?
Um, it was, I got to tell you, I had a blast. I had a blast. I'm an actor. I've been an actor. I've done pilots. I've done guest star spots. I've done different tons of commercials, tons of music videos in my younger years. I've been a model and then I raised my boys and I kind of got out of it a little bit, but I'm back again because it's what I love to do. It's my passion. Um, but when this reality show literally fell in my lap in 2 days, everyone as an actor dreams of having a TV series. And for some reason, I think it was Dave who I lost. He just sort of went, okay, we're going to give you this so you can get out of your sort of dark period of grieving and sadness. And I was booked on this show in 2 days. It was crazy. The casting director booked Gabriel, I mean, interviewed Gabriel and I on Zoom. And then she put together, edited the interview. And she goes, okay, we'll talk to you next week and we'll let you know. And she called me like the next day and said, TLC loves you guys. They love you. And we want you to do it. So then the contracts and everything. So all of a sudden, it took about a few weeks. I'm in La Paz, Mexico, and, we're completely secluded from everyone in the very beginning. It really is, you know, people in reality show, I call it like the world of vagueness, Pollyanna. You ask a question and they come back and they say an answer and they don't give you the answer of which you've asked. They sort of muffle the idea and give you some other, and then you forgot what you were talking about. They don't tell you anything. So I really didn't know. I thought my son was there to help me pick a mate. I had no clue that us women would be dating younger, and that our boys would be in the same dating pool. But quickly I realized that this was a show about female empowerment. Okay, so because I saw all of us amazing moms, okay, moms have a job that is so incredibly rewarding, but then on the other hand, it can be so can bring you to your knees in pain being a mother because you're only as good as your best child. I've heard that expression. It's like if all the boys are doing great, which right now all my boys are doing incredibly well, I'm doing fine. If I have one son that is going through something, it just it's your heart gets yanked out of your body. So it's such uh it's an all giving job being a mother. You do everything for your children when they're younger, and you're concerned about their emotions, you're concerned about their interactions with people at school, you feel their pain.
How was
So
it to see him dating somebody? Was it because I don't know, there's a lot of you want to kind of pick the best mate for your
yes,
child, right? What was it like
absolutely.
watching him date, and what was it like for him? Because I saw in that first episode, he was so protective of you. And
He was so funny. Well, my boys grew up pretty quickly. They were like life in the fast lane out here. And I was always working. I do a lot of different things. One thing I do is I'm a trainer, which keeps me super healthy and fit. And I love inspiring people by taking great care of themselves. So I was always like training people and coaching people. But, my boys, I wish I would have had, if I would have stayed married, I could have been there when they do their homework and when they have dinner. But my boys were like, yeah, mom, yeah, we're going to get our homework done. And, thanks for the food. But my boys were out, who knows what they were doing. I know a lot of things, but, us moms, they can pull the wool over your eyes. So my boys were always like really quick and out there and doing their things. So when Gabriel was here and on the show, I did get to spend time with him. And I actually was quite impressed with my son. I just was, he picked Stephanie on the show, who to this day, I'm great friends with Stephanie. And she was so down to earth and, you know, um, very mature and mothering, and not some wild woman and just sort of like calming. And I went, okay, Gabriel, I kind of like your choice right now. And, it's like you bring these children into the world and you want them to do what you want them to do. But the truth of the matter is everyone is their own person. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. My other son, Keelan, his twin, is the brainiac of the family. And I could tell him, try this shortcut with this particular issue because I've been there,
are
done
they
that.
identical
No,
twins?
they're fraternal. They're very different. Keelan's also an actor, but he has his college degree, and he's a writer and director and camera guy, and he does everything. But he's also an incredible actor. But it's like our children are their own person from the very beginning. It's everyone's so unique. Like all my boys are so different from each other. So anyway, long story short, I approved of what Gabriel, and I was hanging out with him, and he's such a gentleman. That's one thing I love. I love a gentleman, um, and I've instilled that. I really made it a point with my children. I was born in California, beach area, but I was raised in the Midwest. And I was brought up with morals and integrity and respecting my elders. And um, I went to church, and I'm not so much a churchgoer now. I'm more spiritual, but my boys know how to treat people. And when I was on this trip with Gabriel, he was such a gentleman with Stephanie and the other ladies, like, oh, you look really, you look so beautiful. And can I get that for you? And can I, would you like this? And I was just going, wow, this kid was sort of, because, he was living on his own and he's traveled around the world modeling and doing his music. And I was just like, wow, it's pretty
And
impressed.
that was really beautiful to watch. Your interactions were always you were always so cute together.
Oh my,
How you
there were,
bounced ideas off of each other. And can
yeah.
you see me?
Oh, I can,
Okay,
honey.
cool.
Yes.
So my next question, I want to ask you about this what you're doing right now. You're a contender for a Maxim. Is it a spread or a cover? Is it both? Can you talk about Maxim, what it is, and tell us everything?
Yes, Maxim is an international magazine, and it's beautiful photography. It covers all different subjects, sports, or, you know, I guess it's primarily, I think the audience is a male audience, but it has great articles in it. It covers all different subjects. And um, my girlfriend had said, April, there's this contest happening for Maxim CoverGirl 2020-24. And she told me about it, and she had just seen it on social media, and she said, you should do it. And I said, really? You think I should do that? Or is that kind of weird because I'm older? And she encouraged me, and I said, okay, what the heck? I may be the oldest contestant, but I feel like I'm representing, like middle-aged women in this contest. And I kind of got into it because you have told me, Pollyanna, that I'm sort of making history, which I was very flattered to hear that. I don't look at myself like I'm doing that. And then another friend of mine on social media that I don't know, she said, you're bucking the narrative. You're changing the narrative for middle-aged women, and
I
and
think I think you are making history on so many levels because now the magazine is now digital. So you can reach even more people and inspire even more women. I'm 51 years old. I'm going to be
oh my
52 in
gosh,
July.
I can't believe it.
And
I thought you were like 30s or
thank
31.
you.
No,
And
beautiful.
I remember seeing you on the show, and when you said you were 59, and you said I'm the oldest woman here, but you had the energy of one of the youngest because you had that energy and you're so vibrant, and
Thank
that's
you.
that's why it was so fun to watch your experiences. So you are making history. If you do get the cover, do you have any ideas, any things you want to do in the future? Would you want to continue to model?
Something I would encourage people to, this is off subject, but I meditate. I'm a person who meditates. Meditation is a form of sort of getting to know your inner self. I feel like, there's your outsides and then your insides. And for me, it's an inside job. It is when I meditate, I'm very hyper. I have a lot of energy. There's a lot of things I want to do in my life at this point. I'm very creative. I have my band. I sing. I love that. But when I meditate, it's almost like I'm tapping into the unified field. Okay, there's something I do believe. There's something beyond this reality, this plane of existence. And I've witnessed that since I've lost Dave because he shows me signs. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that because they think, oh, my if I say that, people will think I'm crazy. But like I said, I'm a spiritual person, and how could we go through this life and look at the beautiful sunrise and animals and babies and our loved ones and think that when it's time to leave, that it would just end. To me, I don't believe that. And I've had experiences where I've seen so many signs and so many miracles that happen. So basically, what was your question again? So, Maxim, okay, what would I do? What I wanted to say about the meditation is I get ideas when I meditate. I came up with a concept for a show, and I have a manager, and I told the concept to my manager. He also has a production company, and he said, April, your show is a no-brainer. He said, I want to sell your show. And I came up with that show idea, and like that, it came to me. And it's because I'm clear. I'm a person who, I know I'm all over the place. I'm a person who does the right thing in life. Okay, I keep my side of the street clean. I'm I am a kind person. I try and help people whenever I can. So I walk around being a good person, and I don't have to hold my head down because I feel good about myself because I do the right thing. Okay. So here I am, I meditate all the time, and I come up with this idea. I share it with my manager, and he's like, I'm gonna sell that show. So I gathered up the cast. We're doing a sizzle reel. I wrote the theme song to the show. My manager loves it. We're putting that in the sizzle reel. Um, I'm a producer on the show. Okay, here's the thing, tons of people come up with great ideas. I don't have a contract right now, I haven't signed anything, but the fact that I've created something that someone is behind and I'm getting it out there is pretty incredible. I have a production company, but guess what? I don't stop there. I have another idea for a different show. I love music. I have my band. We travel around. We're shooting a promo for my cover band right now so we can travel and book great gigs in different states and travel, maybe go to Europe or do. So, it's just like I'm a prime candidate for the cover of this magazine because I can also talk about being older and still pursuing my dreams. Just because I'm older doesn't mean I just want to, fade away until the sunset and just, I'm going to keep exercising. I'm going to keep learning. I'm going to keep guiding and inspiring and going for what I want to go for. So, I'm in the finals now, or I'm more than halfway through the contest.
I'm going to put the link under the YouTube video, and I'm going to put the
Thank
link
you.
for other people to vote for you.
I
So I
appreciate.
was looking at your IMDb and I saw lots of interesting stuff. You've done MacGyver, Hunter, The A-Team, Moonlighting with Bruce Willis,
Oh my
and
God,
Sybil
I loved
Shepherd.
Bruce. I loved
Tell
Bruce
us
Willis.
about your experiences there.
Um, I was in my early 20s and I had an under five. When you have an under five, you have less than five lines. But it was a co star part, and they told me I was going to be in a scene with Bruce Willis. And I love Bruce Willis. And it was the episode, The Bride of Tupperman. And I got to, he walked into this restaurant in Beverly Hills, and I was all dressed and I loved my hair and makeup and everything. And I actually think they didn't even use my dialogue, but it was a scene with him and I. He walks in, he puts down an envelope and starts showing me these pictures of beautiful women. And I looked at him and I make this face like, why are you showing me these women? Like, and I take my margarita and I pour it on his head. Literally, I only had one take because, I'm going to like pour this drink on his head. And he was just so much fun. It was a really small part, but he was a doll and he was so sweet and so much fun and really gregarious and things like that. So, that was a really fun little job back in the day.
And Moonlighting was very popular everywhere that I have gone in the world. It was on syndication everywhere. So it's as soon as I saw
Absolutely.
that, I was, how about MacGyver? Tell us about that.
MacGyver was my very first acting job. And I got to tell you, the nerves were going. I was very insecure. I think I was maybe 22, and the director was really impatient and kind of not the nicest person. Where, here's the thing, auditioning and getting the part is the most work. Once I book a job, I'm fine. But, I used to have my nerves going and this and that, but this was my very first speaking part. So, this is the funny thing about this show. I knew Richard Dean Ant, whatever his name is. I knew MacGyver because he lived in a beach city where I lived, and I worked in a restaurant, and he would come in the restaurant. So I got the job, and we knew each other, and he was another sweetheart. And he was like, "It's okay. The director is just blankety blank blank." He said, "He's not nice." He goes, "Just talk to me and have fun, you know?" And I listened to him. He calmed me down because that was my very first, acting job. I played a bartender. I was giving him a drink, and he was so sweet. He was just really nice. He was just, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that guy. Just take a breath." And he was amazing. So
Fantastic. Everyone
yes,
knows all of these shows, they're on syndication here in Norway, they were in Brazil, in Australia, New Zealand. So a lot of times when I talk to American actors and models and people who are in showbiz, they never imagine that they're reaching the entire world. They really are, even if it's
it's
a TV
actually
show.
true. That's so interesting. Yes.
Did you get to meet Mr. T when you did the A Team?
I didn't work with Mr. T. I worked with the face. I worked with a really good looking guy, and that was a little part. And another fun little part, I had a bigger part on Married with Children. I had a week's worth of work on that job, and tons of dialogue. They call that a guest star role, where you have more than 5 lines. So that was really fun to work on that show.
Married with Children, that's where I looked at the pictures on your IMDb. I remember that. Married with Children is one of our favorite shows here. So we definitely have seen that. Can
Ed
you talk
O'Neill,
about that?
Ed O'Neill was another. Everyone I work with is just really kind, and they're like the ones that are the they're used to it. They're huge stars and everything, but he was super funny, and I was calm. I had had some more acting jobs under my belt, and I was working with some girls that I had already modeled with in the past, and I was a lingerie shopkeeper named Muffy. And so one of his lines was, "I'm looking for," he was looking for the right size lingerie for his wife. And he's like, "Well, what size are you?" And he's like, "I can't see. I'm sweating into my eyes." And, every now and then you start laughing and they have to cut. Those are the outtakes, which are hysterical. But, you have to like get serious and pull it together. But, you work with some comedic people, and you just start kind of like laughing, and you have to, be professional. But he was really fun. And Christina Applegate was on set, who I adore. And to this day, I knew her outside of Married with Children. She grew up with my ex-husband, who was a child actor, Billy Jacoby. He went by Billy Jacoby when he was younger. He worked so much. Now he's a director, and he's also a huge musician who's toured with Macy Gray, and he's the father of my boys. But he grew up with Christina Applegate. So I had met her prior to working on Married with Children, and just a sweetheart. I'm really sorry about her health issues she's going through now, because I love her as an actress. So
So yeah, you've got a fantastic resume. You've done so many
thank
amazing
you.
things. And this is what's really inspiring, that you were still active, and that's something that will inspire
Uh,
women and people all over the world.
I kind of feel like I did this full circle type of thing, because there were a few years in there where I took a break because I was, I was raising my babies, and just sort of being married, and busy with school activities. And then I got divorced and raising the boys on my own. I went through some really, trying times in there. So I'm happy that I was able to, get this going again, because it's one of my passions, and everyone should follow their heart and follow their passion. I believe that's what makes you happy. You should go for it. So
And that was one of my questions for you. What piece of advice would you give girls and boys and people in their teen years? They're still figuring out what they're going to do. What would you say to them?
I would say something similar to what I raised my boys with, and that is to maybe make a list. What are your interests? What sets your soul on fire? Maybe someone really loves science and medicine and helping people. Maybe they want to pursue being a doctor. Maybe, they have a gift where they like to make people laugh, or they're an entertainer, or they love being in front of the camera. Then take a great class and read books on different actors or musicians. Maybe you have, a natural ability with musical instruments, and you love music. I love music. I grew up with a father who sang, a grandpa who sang. Everyone is in music in my family. And music is life to me. I listen to music all day long, every day. Um, and I recently read something where music releases endorphins and creates dopamine in your body and oxytocin. So no wonder I love, exercise does the same thing. So you figure out what it is that you are passionate about, and get more, collect information on that, and see where you could find an opportunity to be in that line of work. Do what you love and make money doing what you love. It's all possible if you never give up. So
Absolutely. Perseverance is a must. So,
absolutely.
my last question to you is about the American dream. We study American studies here, and one of the goals is for the students to understand the American way of life and the
Mhm.
roots of the American dream. Do you believe that you have achieved it? Are you seeking it? Does it exist? Tell us what your definition is of the American dream.
Okay. I still believe in the American dream. I feel that from the outside, people might think, "Wow, I've done this and I've done that, and I've made it, and I've." Um, Someone that really truly knows where I come from, it's I feel that I've accomplished it with my spirit. I have a very strong, um, passionate spirit and soul. And I believe that anyone that lives in our world, if they have a dream of coming to America, and whatever that American dream means to them, that there is always that possibility. I feel that no matter what you do, it requires dedication, hard work. It requires a plan. It requires it. So every now and then things happen. Like when I was younger, oh, are you a singer? I got put in a female band. Oh, opportunities that happen in our lives that are just magical. And but oftentimes those things don't last. So what it really takes, if you have in your mind, I speak to people all the time on social media, and they live in third world countries, and I talk to them and I say, you know you don't give up. If you're not happy at your job, you go and seek another job. Never stay somewhere that doesn't feed you or nourish you. Okay. There is an American dream that I have accomplished. And where it comes from is it comes from inside. I have done what I have done for me, and that is very fulfilling for me. Okay. And of course, there's other things that I'd like to accomplish. I would like to, I don't live in a house. I raised my boys and I live in a house. I live in an apartment. Okay. But I want to get, my dream home, or I want to do this. Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm working on doing those things, and I will accomplish what I set my mind to. So I just feel that never give up. If you want to come to America and strive for a better way of life, because it's the land of the free and democracy. Of course, there's a lot going on now everywhere in the world, and I'm still grateful to live in America. I really am.
I
Although,
love that you said that because there's a lot of pessimism and a lot of negativity towards America from people who don't really know what it's like. So when you talk about the American dream from your perspective, it
mhm,
is exactly deeply rooted in working hard and accomplishing your dreams. Like you said, you need to establish
100%.
goals.
Yes, and my Instagram handle is April's underscore dreams. It's I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish in my life, and I'm never going to stop, because that's me, and I love being busy and active, and it makes me feel happy inside. And you know like I said, I don't want to crawl into a hole. There's lots of things to worry about in the world today, but I'm very grateful that I'm not in Iran, being a woman in a different country where I can't express myself, or I can't, you know it's all relative, but I still have hope, and I still am grateful every day. Not that I'm going to go out there and walk down in a neighborhood at 3 o'clock in the morning by myself, or do, you have to be smart, but um, there's so much that we can still enjoy in our lives. And can I say my 5 things that lead to a happy life? Okay, let me wrap it up with this. Laugh as much as possible. Okay, it's very important to laugh. Laughter is medicine. Do what you love. Stick with the people that you love and that love you back. Love yourself fiercely and love your crew. Don't sweat the small stuff, you guys. Don't worry about it. In the big scheme of in the big picture, it doesn't matter. What matters is, like I said, laughing, having adventures, doing what you love. Don't sweat the small stuff. And what's the last one? Hold on. Okay. Do what you love the people in your crew hard, and love yourself. Don't do anything that doesn't sit right with you, and don't sweat the small stuff. I can't think of the other one. Anyway, that works for me in a big way. So, anyway,
Fantastic. Thank you so very much for this. I'm probably going to show your interview in 2 parts for them to work with different segments of what you said, but you have given so much information, and this has been a fantastic way to celebrate Women's History Month with a woman
thank you
who's making
so much
history.
for asking me. I so appreciate it. I'm sorry I was all over the place, but I hope it came through okay. Such a
So
pleasure.
we'll stay in touch via Instagram, and I'll give you feedback on how it went with the
Thank you so
students.
much. Thank you, Pollyanna. Bye bye.
Bye.